Alright, now for the rifles. The first one, the M40A1. Alright, now let's test that on an ooze. I know that sounds like an ooze. Isn't that too weak for a rifle? No, because I tested it before recording this, and here, I'll show you. Alright, well, one shot from the M40A1. Okay, now, the reason why I'm testing the rifles on the ooze is because the next rifle is weaker, quite weaker, than the M4A01. And I tested it before recording this, and it's worthy of doing on an ooze, because you'll see. Alright, well, now for the next rifle. The Heckler & Koch PSG-1 from Resident Evil 5. And see, the firepower is much weaker than the M40A1. Alright, now let's test it on a ooze, and I'll show you why I'm testing the rifles on a ooze. So, it took 2 shots. Now here's the reason why I tested the rifles on the ooze. If any weapon takes more than 1 shot on the most standard enemy, it is worthy of testing it on that enemy. So it makes it easy for me. I know it would be more satisfying if I tested it on a more powerful enemy, but it makes it hard for me, and I want to get this done, okay? Okay, well that is it for the normal rifles. Now, there is a legendary rifle on raid mode, so that is next. Alright, here is the legendary rifle, the Muramasa. And basically, it has the highest firepower of all the rifles, but it has a slow-ass firing speed and a very low capacity. So, alright, just to show it. Alright, as you can see, firing speed and reload speed are very slow, but the firepower is pretty powerful, and it's awesome to use. So, I do like this weapon, and you may too. Alright, that is it for the rifles. Now to move on to my favorite weapon class. One of my favorites. Alright, now for the magnums. The first one is the Python. This is the same Colt Python from the very first Resident Evil. Alright, now let's test the Python on a hunter. Alright, so 2 shots from the Python on a hunter. Alright, well, now for the next Magnum. Alright, now for the last normal Magnum, the Lightning Hawk from Resident Evil 5, or the Desert Eagle. Alright, now let's test the Lightning Hawk on a hunter. Alright, the Lightning Hawk also took 2 shots. Well, the difference between the Python and the Lightning Hawk is The Lightning Hawk is slightly weaker, but it has a faster firing speed and reload speed, and has a higher capacity. So there's the trade-off for the Magnums. Now, like most of the last weapon classes except for the handguns, the Magnums also have a legendary Magnum, and only in raid mode again, so I'll show you that. And it's one hell of a weapon. Okay, here it is. The Pale Rider, they call it, and yeah. It's a Magnum with like a 2-foot barrel. But if you look closely, it looks exactly like the Magnum Python, just with a long-ass barrel. But think of it this way, like the other weapons, the firepower is the best, but the firing speed and capacity are going to be the lowest. It's actually the same exact as the Python, actually. But anyway, watch when you test this sucker out. You ready for this? Yeah, that's crazy. Now, I know I said I won't test the legendary weapons on enemies, but I'm gonna do my tradition, though it's not much of it since there is no critical headshots in this game. I'll test the Pale Rider on a level 1 ooze and shoot him in the face, just for laughs. I'm also gonna put 3 upgrades on it: my highest damage upgrade, my highest critical upgrade, and my highest charged shot upgrade for even a bigger explosion. Boom, headshot. I am not going to put that in my new YouTube intro because of this poor quality. Alright, well, that concludes the Magnums. Alright, now for the last weapon in the game, the rocket launcher. It only says infinite because I unlocked it that way. You can unlock the infinite rocket launcher by beating the game on hell mode, which is the hardest difficulty, which really isn't that hard. Alright, awesome firepower as usual. Now to get on with the other tradition. The rocket launcher to the standard enemy. In this case, the ooze. Alright. Alright, now to test it properly. I am going to test this infinite rocket launcher on the boss that's just past this point. You may have heard him keep saying Mayday, Mayday a whole bunch of times through this whole video. I don't know if the audio caught that though. But yeah, it is the first Skagdead. That's what they're called. But really the first one you meet is a comms officer that you're trying to rescue, but he's already mutated by the T-Abyss virus. So, alright, I'm going to test the rocket launcher on him. So, here we go. Okay, a powerful enough boss to withstand one shot from the rocket launcher. Took 2 rockets. So, when you're battling this normally, with normal weapons, you're going to have one hell of a long fight, unless you have the rocket launcher with you. Alright, well, that is it for the rocket launcher, and that is it for Resident Evil Revelations weapons. I know in Resident Evil 5 I did like other weapons like rail shooters and Gatling guns and like the stuff you only get in certain situations. There is that in this, but this isn't like Resident Evil 5 where I can just go to any chapter and go to straight to that point. So I am gonna skip that for this review. I mean, it's almost the same as Resident Evil 5, so it probably wouldn't even be worth showing anyway. Basically, the only other weapon I can think of right now is on Chapter 11, the first scenario, where you battle this giant lake monster. I don't know what it's called, but you use a helicopter gun for it for the second half of the battle. Alright, well, so that is it for Resident Evil Revelations weapons. This concludes my main series weapons review until Resident Evil 6 comes out, of course, and I am gonna wait maybe a long while before I review the weapons on that, because I gotta get used to that game, and it will be new to everyone. So if someone does a weapons review before me, which is probably gonna happen, it's fine. I have my own unique way of reviewing weapons that no one could copy. I hope not. So, yeah. If any of you see someone review the Resident Evil 6 weapons and they're doing my exact technique as if they watched my videos and then are committing fraud, you better tell me so I can kick that loser's ass. Alright? Anyway, this is it for Resident Evil Revelations weapons. The next weapon review I will do, that's a thing to discuss. I mean, until Resident Evil 6, this concludes main series weapons. So, I'll have to start on a spin-off eventually. I think the first spin-offs I'm going to start with are the Umbrella Chronicles and the Darkside Chronicles. I'm not going in chronological order for spin-offs, alright? Otherwise, I would have to do Survivor first, which I don't have. So, yeah, that will probably be the next weapons review when I get it onto it. Umbrella Chronicles, okay? As for other videos, the next video I'm going to post, period, after this, is Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City melee moves. So look forward to that. But anyway, this is it. This is Shankster94, aka the Gamer Shankster. Rate, comment, subscribe. See you guys in Operation Raccoon City melee moves.